And we are back to the studio again. Hi, Kristen. It's been, what, 1.5 years since the first podcast, and thank you so much for joining me again to again share the journey of the coffee bike world.
Yeah, no, honestly, thank you so much for having me back again. For those of you who didn't watch the prior podcast, I have witnessed Coffee Bike's journey from its inception. So this has been really exciting to be a part of this entire process. And I think like the main question is, what is Coffee Bike World and what inspired you to do this?
You know, this is the question that I ask myself every day. And the definition of the coffee bike world is developing with development of our company. It started with Coffee Bike Vancouver, then we became Coffee Bike Canada, and now we're actually calling ourselves Coffee Bike World because we have a presence in more than just Canada. Coffee Bike is currently a non-obligatory worldwide community of people and businesses who operate our well-developed concept on a daily basis and sharing their story and journey with us.
Awesome. And how did you get inspired to do this?
Well, it all started back in 2017. I was about to graduate from university and I was already in the business. I was in the fitness industry, which brought me to some certain heights and results, but it wasn't just scalable. So I was looking for the idea which I can scale. And one of my college peers actually showed me this cool mobile coffee shop idea from Europe, which I kind of picked up and I started to research it more, end up ordering some version of this mobile coffee shop from European website, received absolute garbage, which I have mentioned probably everywhere on social media already. And it took me couple years to make it work because it wasn't compliant with any local regulations. It was just, honestly, I refer to it as a piece of garbage. And well, somehow finally I made it work. And I closed it after 2 months of operations because I just couldn't see the final object being scalable. Closed it down. Idea was great. Execution was completely off. Took me a little bit of time, few months of research and development, and I completely redeveloped the design, keeping the concept of mobile coffee shop, and this is how Coffee Bike originated. The inspiration of someone offering what's supposed to be a turnkey mobile coffee shop and business, let's call it a false advertisement, led me to launching our turnkey manufacturing facility of something that we have been personally using for 7 years and served over 1 million cups of coffee from our mobile coffee bikes.
Wow.
So we are super confident with the product that we offer.
That's awesome. So what was the initial plan with the launch of Coffee Bike Volume 2?
Well, the initial plan was pretty, enthusiastic. We wanted to launch the crowdfunding campaign, which we did, through Indiegogo platform, and also wanted to do the Kickstarter. Somehow the success of some other products on this platform inspired me and gave me an idea that, well, we're gonna get viral, it's gonna go crazy. So all the social media content, all the manufacturing side of things, everything was prepared for the launch of the crowdfunding campaign. The idea was to hit the minimum of 20 units, hopefully sold overnight by booming in social medias and everywhere, which was a bit delusional from what I understand right now. So, end story, we sold absolutely 0 units from the crowdfunding campaign. I didn't learn the algorithm inside the platforms. I really undervalued the point of marketing which is involved in the crowdfunding. You don't just post your product there. You have to bring the traffic to the platform, which I didn't realize at that time. So 2 months in, zero sales, and yeah, it just didn't work out. It absolutely failed. On my end, we had production going. We had those 20 units sitting at the factory, which was financed by myself. And the question was, how do we execute? How do we sell? And this is when we, and me personally, started to do personal lead generation campaigns. Instagram, Facebook, content creation, little bit of paid ads. Short story, we received over 5,000 leads from January 2024 until today.
How did you manage to contact all those leads and how did you close them?
Oh, that was quite a journey. Like, honestly, I was always referring to Coffee Bike as us company, but it was just me, two or three of my cell phones, and I was manually messaging, calling, and emailing every single lead myself. Um, at some point in the middle of last year, I introduced some automations like email journeys, automatic SMS follow ups, but all of the calls were done for myself. Even when I was like, hey, one of our sales team gonna get in touch with you. That was me, the sales team. And then in the comment section, hey, just send us the email and sales team gonna get in touch. It was still me, myself. I would estimate maybe like 20,000 calls overall in the past 1 year and a
Wow.
half, around 40,000 SMS messages, and definitely more than 100,000 emails, which led us to close at this specific moment 27 coffee bikes, which is a pretty great result for the first year of operation.
So 27 is over your initial of 20 bikes from your Kickstarter. So I think it's a great testament to see that you took that failure and you turned it into something positive. And that failure motivated you to pick up the phone, call people. So that is just an amazing outcome that you had there. So you owe yourself a pat on the back for sure.
Thank you so much.
So the people that actually bought these 27 bikes, who are the buyers and operators, and do you have any success stories you can share?
So we have a full range of owners, both B2C, meaning like a regular individuals like me and you who either want to start something new in their life or want to have a side hustle, or we also have a B2B funnel where we sell to already existing businesses who either want to offer something new on their infrastructure or adding an extra revenue stream to their business or completely reshape their business model. We can go like one by one. I don't think it's really worth it to mention all 27 right now, but for sure we have if the ballpark right now it's 7 owners in United States, 19 owners in Canada, and one in Peru.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. So I put the target ads just on main provinces of Canada first with my low budget, and there was a guy traveling with his family from Sweden to Lima, Peru. They were moving for good there. And during their transfer in the Vancouver airport, the guy was scrolling the Instagram and he saw my ad.
Wow.
And the twist here is he was going to Peru specifically to launch his mobile coffee shop business because he was already roasting his coffee here. So that was just like all stars aligned together. He literally filled the application. We called. By the time that when he was landed to Peru, uh, we already issued him a quote and invoice. And of course, I've never shipped anything to Peru, but I was like, yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the fun fact is, out of all of these, like North American expansion, Canada advertising, actually the first coffee bike that we sold was to Peru.
That is so amazing. And did you feel like anything was different as a Peru operator and a Canadian operator? Did he run into any challenges there?
There was a bit of the challenges to get the product actually imported. Unlike in North America, where you just have to fill a bunch of papers, without too much details in Peru, you just need to pay to a bunch of people to get the product accepted by the local customs, especially if it's something novelty, right? But it wasn't like something crazy, especially in the local currency, so we made it work. And the good thing about his place of operation is Lima, Peru, has 0 rainy days.
Oh, so you don't need this raincoat over there.
You don't need anything. You just need to open and do sales 24/7. 365 days a year, which he has actually been doing. I've been following his journey on social medias. He's out there every day. He already broke even his bike maybe 2 to 3 times. He shared some numbers, even in such a developing country as Peru, as opposed to Canadian economy, for example, he was hitting like $1,000 to $2,000 US dollar sales days over there, with his top performance day probably being like, I think he mentioned something about 3,000 US dollars
Wow.
in Peru in one day from Coffee Bike. That's an annual salary for someone there sometimes. Yeah.
So looking at your bikes, what makes you different from other manufacturers or similar mobile coffee shop concepts?
Very, very hot topic for me, and something that I would say even triggering topic for me. Like, as I mentioned, I bought something back in the time from someone who promised me a ready to operate turnkey mobile coffee shop solution. And as I mentioned before, what I received was an absolute trash. I don't call out any of the competitors, and our market is quite niche. I don't want to name any brands, etc. But what I can say is we are the only brand on the market right now without any franchise obligations, without any recruitment fees, which offers you a turnkey solution based on the actual 7 years of operation, on the actual more than million cups of coffee served from our units, on the actual knowledge of entrepreneurs and baristas using these bikes on a daily basis. On the other hand, what you can find on the market is produced by manufacturers who are making their product based either on theoretical knowledge or assumptions. If you actually ask them how many coffees you served yourself from what you sell, how many hours you can operate, how many coffees you can serve in 1 hour, can you serve these, can you operate in these conditions, you will barely get any real answers.
So would you say tried and tested by a true entrepreneur is what makes you different?
Tried, tested, trials and errors, sweat and tears, wheels falling apart, parts breaking down, batteries died out, engine not being capable of moving to the right destinations. So many things for the first few years, and a lot of improvements, which led me to the point where I was like, this is what I will feel confident to offer for sale. This is what I actually will sell, receive the money from the customer, and will feel like during my nighttime I will be calm, sleeping, not worrying that something can collapse and underperform. This is where we are different.
What would you say to someone who's like, oh, I can make a bike myself. It's no big deal. What would you say to that person?
I always welcome them to do that. The way that we approach the sales of the coffee bike is there is never an aggressive sale approach. We are building a community. We are not having a goal of just spreading bunch of units around the world in the short frame, because our long-term model is much more complex than just flipping the bikes from the production cost to the final price, just making this tiny margin. I'm going to share more about this a little bit later. So yes, they can do it. They can figure out local regulations, and they can understand that with such a tiny footprint, for example, the sinks that they need to implement, you cannot just buy them off the Amazon. You need to order something custom. Custom sink, just an example, would cost you $1,200 just the sink alone to be, custom welded in Canada. Yeah, I'm just referring to Vancouver market because this is how much I paid for my first bike for the custom sink here in Vancouver. We buy everything in bulk based on our designs. So that gives us this purchase leverage. When we buy fridge for the bike, we buy 50 fridges. When we buy sinks, we manufacture 50 sinks. This leverage gives us much more competitive purchasing power. This is why we can offer the bike at the price which allows us to make some profit margin, and which, you can trust me or not, it would still, at the end of the day, be lower if you try to do it and implement it yourself. If you don't have, of course, if you're not an engineer, not in the bike industry, and if you put a price tag of zero to your time involved in the production, of course, you can just maybe figure it out yourself somehow, buy parts and just collect the total price of the parts, excluding your time involved. then maybe you can match our price tag. Maybe you can even go slightly below. But if you accommodate everything together, time, resources, the actual fully optimized model that we have, there is no way that someone can replicate it the way it is right now with us.
And is there somewhere online where people can see all the full details about the bike and learn about the bike just on its own?
Yeah, we have a great website, coffeebike.ca. Everything is available there. Walkthrough videos, all the pictures, close-ups on all the details, full list of equipment, etc. There's also a nice form you can fill. If you have any more questions, we're gonna get back to you.
You mean
Answering.
you, not we.
Yeah, that's still me. I'm looking for a couple people right now. I already posted couple posts on the what do you call those, job websites. Yeah, specifically I'm looking for a call center person to make a phone follow-ups, but I'm also considering AI agent because maybe that can be more feasible in my scenario because of the all of the questions that people ask me typically are very repetitive questions. So yes, website. Now we are very focusing on the social media. You can find Coffee Bike TV on the YouTube. This is where we're uploading this episode today as well. Instagram, we start to make those funny, also informative videos recently. Mostly you can see my face on all of those. Very big out of comfort zone for me. But, I gotta do what I gotta do for that.
What are the next plans for the rest of the year and beginning of 2026?
Well, the plans are actually pretty big right now. I've been talking about this out loud everywhere I can. We actually had a great opportunity to be part of the Dragon's Den TV show, which is a Canadian version of Shark's Tank.
I love that show. It's Dragon's Den is honestly one of my favorite shows ever.
I've been watching Dragon's Den since I was like 12, 13 years old, since season 1, and I had an opportunity to participate on Dragon's Den season 20, which is also anniversary season. That was such a great milestone. For both them and myself, being on the other side of the screen and kind of realizing that this is all real. This is not me just scrolling the TikTok and getting those, quick cutouts from the episodes. Meeting those amazing people in person, meeting other entrepreneurs backstage. I'd say Dragon's Den is definitely one of my peak experience of entrepreneurship since I've ever started this thing. And it went great. I cannot really say a lot of details because of the NDA. They have quite strict rules, but I already received some fruitful dividends from that. We sold few units, few coffee bike units, some of them to one of the biggest coffee chain in Canada, which is very exciting and which is another concept validation for us that, people who've been in the industry for such a long time trusted us because we have participated in Dragon's Den.
So wait, so you were able to sell some coffee bikes without the episode being aired yet?
Yes, by just mentioning about this in our social media, algorithm is very catchy on the Dragon's Den thing, right? So I would just post, picture, hashtag Dragon's Den or tag them. They would repost something. And this is already a nice exposure. I cannot even imagine what's going to happen once the episode is actually aired. Potentially millions of viewers nationwide and beyond. We are getting ready. And that leads me to the next portion of the short-term adventure is I'm actually going to our factory in the next few months just to personally control the next round of production. We're gearing up on another 20 to 40 units just because there is a good chance that when Dragon's Den episode is released, our website gonna explode. Finger crossed, because that's a big commitment from my end, from production, from marketing, from all aspects. So we are waiting for the Dragon's Den episode release. Should be anywhere between next 2 months, 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on which episode they're gonna put us to. Then we're actually invited to the Calgary Dragon's Den Anniversary Expo.
Oh.
Out of hundreds of all the businesses in all the 20 episodes, they send us invitation. I believe it's only 30 or 40 businesses total who received this
What
invitation.
is this expo?
So think about it as a big expo conference. There is like a big market type of situation. All the people who attended Dragon's Den, I'm not really sure if it's just our season or if it's all seasons combined, but they're gonna have a little booth.
Okay, that's really
And
cool.
we are bringing our coffee bike, but not from Vancouver, from one of our owners in Edmonton, which is another great highlight of our community. So the lady, the owner in Edmonton, she will be catering our expo booth with her bike. We're just gonna brand it with our logos and put couple posters on the sides. And the goal is the actual dragon's gonna come there. They're gonna give some speech. There's gonna be a lot of social aspect to it, social media content. We are bringing our content creator. We're gonna make a whole episode for YouTube vlogs about it. The whole idea is exposure, marketing, exposure, meeting great people, exchanging ideas, synergy of entrepreneurial spirit, etc. So I'm very excited. It's coming soon, just in a couple of weeks from now.
Wow, that is super exciting, and that you got an invitation is even more validating for you. And in terms of your future plans for the next 2 to 3 years, what do you think is going to be in store for Coffee Bike?
That's a good one, right? So we are planning to keep on pushing the content. Keep on the content creation is probably number one priority right now. We are keep on optimizing the coffee bikes, listening to the feedback of the current owners. Adjusting something that can be adjusted to make it even more subjectively perfect. But the key here is to deliver the concept to the masses, right? And there is as much as we can do with our marketing budget. We don't have millions of dollars to invest to like Facebook, Instagram, and betting on the luck of just getting one post viral by algorithm. It's too naive, to be honest. So we just go volumes, YouTube vlogs, podcasts. I hope this is not the last one we do with you.
I'm happy to come
Traveling.
back anytime. So
That's great. Traveling, shorts on YouTube, TikTok, Reels, everything that the current market, the current people who use the social media is demanding. We are just gonna produce high quality content, getting the brand awareness. Currently, our factory is capable of producing 20 units per month. So once we reach this milestone, then we gonna push the limits, we're gonna increase, and perhaps even introduce different food concepts based on the platform of our established mobile bike.
and would this allow for people to possibly make modifications to the units? Let's say they didn't want to just do coffee, they wanted to do something else.
Absolutely, this is something that we've been already receiving occasionally and we are working on. The coffee bike itself is a great platform for any type of mobile food concept or drink concept. Whether you want to do the hot dog or you want to do the shawarma, you want to do some other alternative drinks such as lemonade, chai, even the mobile bar if you want. For our own bikes, we actually just introduced the mobile grill unit, which goes right next to the coffee machine. So now you can do the coffee and then on the side you can grill some hot dogs or even make some waffles there. So there is always some innovation going on. We never just stop and like, hey, this is it. This is what we're gonna sell for the rest of the life, or the rest of our existence. So yes, there's definitely gonna be more concepts within the coffee bike infrastructure. And the great thing is, once you purchase the coffee bike, we don't just leave you alone on the hotline or 3 to 5 business days emails conversation. You actually join in our Discord channel and our phone app, which is now in development, where we connect all coffee bike owners together. What do we do there right now? We just communicate as a community. We share feedback. We ask each other questions, troubleshoot. All the coffee bike owners, they have a feeling like there is always someone there who can assist, who can help, and who can share their experience based on their 7, 8 years of operation, which is us. Me, and my team is also involved. Our local team of supervisors in Vancouver who can assist with small things on the spot. Like, let's say in 2019, when I had my first event with a coffee bike, when something went off and I was like, what the hell do I do? Like, this button is red, this button is green, what do I press? I have no one to call, right? I would just either shut down and lose money for the day, or I would have to just figure it out and still lose some time. With Discord, you have this access to the community of people who operate this exact concept, who have this exact bike all over the world. So the time difference also works out. So you always have a feeling like there is someone who can support you.
And you don't need to pay to be a part of this or anything?
No, we don't charge anything to be part of this community, but our next roadmap plan is to slowly start to introduce non-obligatory options, parts, and services. And I want to really highlight this word non-obligatory. I love this word. Not like a franchise or licensing where people just demand you to do something. You buy this from us, you buy that from us, you pay us this month. No, everything is completely optional, no strings attached. And by building this genuine connection with all the coffee bike owners, I sincerely believe that once we actually start to offer something, a good portion of them will be happy to join. I'm talking, let's say, coffee cups, custom coffee cups. You know how much it costs to order a custom coffee cup in Canada, like with your logo and everything? Not that much, but it's roughly like 50 cents on the small volumes, can go down to 40 cents. I have a capacity on the bigger buying power to offer them for 30 cents or maybe 20 cents, something like that. For me, it's gonna cost a little bit less than that. So here we're gonna make a little margin as well. One revenue stream that can include cups, even our coffee beans, everything like coffee concentrates, syrups, everything that mobile coffee shop owners use on a daily basis. Then we have a second stream, which is digital world. Typically, when someone gets their coffee bike from us, most of the time it's someone new to the entrepreneurship or very fresh to this whole business game. So it will take them some time to figure out their website, lead generation for local catering activities, even simple things like a business cards. Right? It honestly took me maybe 3 to 4 months before I figured out that I need business cards on my coffee card just so people can get in touch with me. So we're planning to offer those full packages or partial packages of digital services. Website, lead generation, targeted ads, CRM system. Again, optional. Yeah. If you want to save your time and if you want to get this proven system and utilize it for your coffee bike, go for it. We're going to be happy.
Awesome. That's really great.
Yeah. Another thing to mention is, of course, currently we call it Coffee Bike Volume 2, which is the second model. We also had the first one and zero, which were our trials and errors. Yeah. I can see Coffee Bike Model 3, Model 4, Model 5. There is always some adjustments going on. One of the cool things is we are planning to implement an LED screen to the front of the bike. So you don't have to always print your menus. You can run advertisement or, upload your menus there, which is cool. It looks innovative. It's going to be optional. If someone think it's a good idea, they're going to get it.
Oh, it could even be used as ad space for other businesses if they wanted to.
Exactly. You put it in a high traffic area. You partner with a couple local brands and each of them pay you a couple $100 per month. And this is your passive income at this point, passive income that you can generate with your active income of doing mobile coffee sales. Upgrades, as I mentioned, for example, the grill unit that we're introducing right now, all of the current 27 coffee bike owners, they can write to Discord, hey Vlad, we want to order this unit. Mm-hmm. For us, it's another revenue generation stream. For them, it's another option to offer to their customers. We ship it directly to them. They can implement it to the existing coffee bike. We're planning to do some trailers to the coffee bike, some modular attachments, etc. So the more we do this, the more feedback we hear, the better we understand the needs of our community. And that's what partially shaped the future of the coffee bike world.
You have covered so many exciting topics throughout this podcast, and I'm so grateful to be able to listen and ask you all these questions. And I'm really excited to do this again, and hopefully you'll have even more exciting things to talk about. And I'm really excited to watch you on Dragon's Den, so please make sure you post that on your YouTube channel so everybody else can watch. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for joining me again and for keep on supporting our journey of the coffee bike world. Always happy to see you. And yes, I hope this is not our last podcast. So now I just want to tell our audience thank you for watching. We will really appreciate your feedback. Any type of questions would be so helpful for us to shape our future content. What questions you want to be answered, what answers in this specific podcast were not clear, etc. So just please share, because sharing is the best thing we can do with each other. And if you feel like coffee bike is something you want to pursue in your life, if you want to start something new, to have a side hustle, or even to expand your current business, coffeebike.ca, we are launching our next round of production in the next week or so with 20 units right now. Remember, no franchise fees, worldwide delivery, custom branding. You don't have to have the red bike. We can make it pink, orange, yellow, and put your logos on it, because we are non-obligatory community. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.